Well, we're talking about Goya Foods' expansion plans and their focus on healthier foods, and we're joined by the president, Rob Unanue, and MeriTerese Racanelli. She's a nutritionist and a food scientist at Goya. I want to show you some statistics before I get to my next question to you there. Look at this. In 2011, 2012, 22% of the Hispanic population, children, were considered obese compared to 17% of the total population. That right there is an illustration of how something needs to be addressed health-wise. You did this 2 years ago, right? In response to the federal government, the White House reaching out to you saying, put this on your cans, or you did that yourself? It's called choosemyplate.gov, and it sort of lays out what should be on your plate.
The White House wanted us to come out with Mi Plato and get that information out to the general public. My grandfather came up with the slogan, Si es Goya, tiene que ser bueno. If it's Goya, it has to be good. But what we want to do, if it's Goya, it's got to be good for you also. And with the My Plate initiative from the First Lady, it puts the nutrition pyramid into a plate and a portion control. When you talk about obesity, you're talking about portion. We eat too much, and you need to control that, and you need to eat less but eat smart. And not only that, about 8 years ago, the city of New York came to us and asked us to voluntarily reduce the levels of sodium in our bean products. We did that, and we went further in coming out with a low sodium line, and not only with beans, but in many of our products.
But MeriTerese, the company hasn't stopped there, correctly?
Correct.
I mean, it's offering, walk me through some alternatives when it comes to dairy and the issue that many Latinos have with being...
Well, a lot of Latinos know that, especially those who are Puerto Rican and Dominican descent, they know that they have an intolerance to dairy in many ways. So what Goya is going to be doing is offering an enriched, very similar to the nutrient profile of cow's milk, but an enriched coconut milk and enriched almond milk. So they'll have an alternative. It's within the culture of the coconut feel and flavor, but also enriching it so this way now they can incorporate it into their recipes and not have a lot of that distension. It's very important for growth and development too.
Last question, we've got about a minute to go, and I'll throw it out to both of you. How challenging is it to make things more nutritious, but at the same time keep the taste there, the taste that I grew up with, the taste that you grew up with? Because we as Latinos get our recipes often passed down from abuela, from nanny, not so much out of a recipe book. Is that difficult? You know,
we're not only the second largest Hispanic country in the world, but we're the most diverse, and we have so many cuisines that are so good for you. To tweak them, to make them a little bit healthier is what we're really focusing on. It's not that difficult. You can do it, and starting with a really good product to begin with.
It can be done, and it can be...
it's a lot easier than people think.
Okay.
And as you know, many Latinas, you know, are trying to go back to learning what their grandparents and great-grandparents did. Many of them don't know how to cook, so we're actually helping them embrace that cultural heritage.
Do you see that as an opportunity to say, not only can you make it the way Nanny made it, but you can make it healthier?
Exactly. And in many cases, a lot of the ancestral foods were already healthier. We're just bringing to light those, you know, those particular attributes.
I mean, those statistics point out that something needs to be done. Right. We didn't even talk about diabetes, because diabetes in the Latino communities...
Well, I think a lot is acculturation.
Yes.
They're deviating sometimes from their cultural food, and we're trying to, and science shows that cultural nutrition is very important for health.
Okay. Thank you both. Good luck from your angle, and let us know when the ribbon cutting happens. We'll be back out there with a camera, and we'll have you here once again.
Thank you.
All right, muchísimas gracias. Thanks for being with us this morning. We hope you learned something as you watched Tiempo this morning. If you missed any part of our show, you can watch it at 7 online on your tablet, on your smartphone. That wraps up another edition of Tiempo. I'm Joe Torres. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.